so excited. This guy has been a friend of our show for many many years, and we've loved watching the success that he and Troy had in the day, and of course the success he continues to have now.
And I will say he's a friend. Very rarely do we say an artist. We always say we're friendly with artists. We view him as a friend, just a great guy.
Well, when you can talk the way we talk to each other, I think you got to be somewhat friendly at that point. Eddie, how are you, man?
I'm doing fine, man. How the hell y'all doing?
We are doing great. I think back to like the first time you and Troy came in studio way back when in San Diego, and we were drinking together before 9 a.m. and the day kind of took off from there. And I love that we have built that camaraderie over the years. It's pretty great.
Oh, I'm telling you, man. Yeah, I tell you what, boys, y'all, it's y'all took us in, and you hell, y'all didn't care. What you see is what you get with me and T-Roy, man, and y'all. That's the way y'all took us, and we loved the hell out of that. Didn't have to put up no fake nothing.
Yeah. Well, talking about no fake nothing, I got to ask you for real. Were you really just working in your garden?
Well, yeah.
You don't have people to do that for you?
Oh man, it kind of takes me away, man. So I can when I'm in the garden, I don't cuss too much. I just think about cussing y'all's asses all the
time. Now, what do you got out that garden? Is this an Ozark type garden, or is this what are you growing?
Well, I don't know. I call it a hillbilly garden. It's got cabbage, lettuce, onions. I got all that out and getting ready to plant some tomatoes, stuff like that. Of course, pretty soon, hell, I think everybody's going to quit doing gardening. They're going to start putting marijuana plants out.
That's what I was asking about the Ozark type situation.
Yeah.
I didn't know what's going on out there.
What's your number one, like growing tomatoes? Like the other stuff it seems like it just grows easily, but tomatoes can be tricky. What's your tip for growing good tomatoes?
Well, I do got a secret, and I don't want to let everybody know, but I reckon I can help.
On this show, nobody's going to see it.
But anyway, once you get them up, and once you first get that first bloom, then everything below that, you want to strip them down, and then they'll grow up and grow big, huge tomatoes and be perfect.
Okay. I did not know that.
Good to know.
I'm making a note. Fantastic.
All right, if you also sometimes you can take when the root, instead of just putting it in the ground, you kind of take the root and make it like an L, and then it'll grow bigger. The vines will grow real big and thick, and hold your tomatoes real good.
Okay, mater holding's a big deal.
That's right, baby.
I love
you got to have it.
My wife holds my maters.
Mater juice, homemade mater juice. See, I can every year too, man. I can green beans, mater juice. We do all kinds of stuff, baby.
Look, how many shows a year are you doing to have time to go gardening?
I still, we're more or less a weekend warrior, but hell, we're still going to be doing 80 shows at least.
Wow.
It's funny. We were talking to Dina Carter on a recent show, and she said she was doing like 100 dates, and I was like, "Wow, do you choose?" And she made a good point that I never thought about all the travel time. She goes, "Well, if you're doing 100 dates, put 2 travel days on either side of that." She says, "I'm only home for like 45 to 60 days."
That's exactly right. She's dead on it.
I guess that makes a lot of sense.
I'll probably see her this weekend.
Oh, tell her we said hello.
I will. She'll probably cuss you like I do too.
Yes, that would be about right and expected.
Yeah. How's the family? Everybody doing all right?
Everybody's doing great, man. Actually, my wife's out here. She's in the garage in here hanging out right now.
Excellent. Well, should we address the situation? I mean, first of all, the fact that you haven't stopped moving this entire time is making me very dizzy. Secondly, speaking of dizzy, what happened? Did you have a little accident there with the
Yeah, most definitely. I'd like to say, man, I got in this big bar fight, or I was, something, or this or that. But no, I was. Let's just say I was drinking a little bit, and gardening and bending over and drinking don't work too good sometimes.
I totally get it. I had a thing I had a big scar on my forehead one time, and I was telling people all these stories about what it was, but ultimately I just had a really small bathroom. When I stood up off the toilet, I scraped my head on the towel rack.
See, if you'd let Tony and I handle your socials, we would have just taken a close-up picture and put hero Eddie Montgomery story in next post, and then you would have had like 5 million people looking at that post, and the next one you could have just told that story.
Well, the thing about it is, I was going like, okay, what am I going to say? All right. I was trimming this big tree, and I was up in the top of it, and I fell all the way down of it. But
that's a good one.
I thought that would be a pretty good one, but I'm not a real damn good liar, so I'm just going to tell the truth.
Oh, you've got the right guys here. Maybe you start off with, I was alone in a bar with a nun. 6 bikers came in. I was armed only with an ashtray.
Yeah, that's it. I was armed with only with a glove on one hand.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, perfect.
They said that's when they really got scared.
And no one to hold my beer, so I did it one-handed.
That's it.
I think we've only talked to you a couple of times since we lost T-Roy, and carrying on with as Montgomery Gentry, was that a difficult decision for you to make?
It was, man. I had to take some time off and think about it, and thank God, man, for guys like you, friends and buddies, and all of my, of course, we ain't never called nobody fans. We call them all our friends out there, man. And me and Troy was definitely blessed very well, man. That everybody's had our back ever since the tattoos and scars, and hell, they still do, man. They're coming out and seeing my ugly face, because T-Roy, he was that pretty boy now. He had that big smile, and the women loved him.
Yeah, I just curious, and I'm sorry, I don't know how to phrase this, so it won't be real eloquent. But like, I see Batman pop on screen, and I think of T-Roy.
Yeah, I do too.
Do you still have moments, maybe for just a split second, when you're on stage that you forget?
I do,
and it's like you look.
I look to my left, man. I'm so used to doing that, man, and it's unbelievable, and I'll still do. And I mean, we have things happen to us all the time, and I go like, that's T-Roy with that big wooden spoon, he used to have on his bus, stirring the pot up. I mean, we went. This ain't no lie now. We went all the way to Oklahoma from Nashville with the bus with the trailer on it. We got there and opened up. We didn't have no equipment in the trailer. We had to go rent equipment from a music store because we got 2 trailers, and they hooked the wrong trailer up. I mean, it's just stuff like that, man, all the time. We've had the PAs have blown up on us, and I mean, it's just weird stuff. And I go like, man, damn, that's got to be T-Roy happening.
But in a way, though, that must feel good to always have his presence with you, because once you're connected like you guys were, I get it. We've been working together for such a long time. I cannot imagine not having that connection.
That's just it, man. I mean, because Nashville didn't put this together. Me and T-Roy did. We were brothers way before the Nashville put duos and stuff together. So we was used to playing nightclubs, and there's videotape out there that I hope nobody ever sees.
Talking about doing it your way, I know you've got is it nephew Dylan?
Yeah.
That's out there, and he's up and coming. What advice would you give because it seems like there's a lot of kids getting famous real quick that really haven't put the work in, the reps.
Right.
And I don't think they're around too long. Do you have any advice for those folks? Because you doing it your way was a big deal.
Yeah, that's
because
that's the thing about it was because me and T-Roy picked our songs, and we pretty much. I remember, they thought we were crazier than hell, because I remember when they was coming in pitching us songs, we were sitting in a Sony big what do you call them, the big council rooms or whatever you call them, conference rooms, and me and T-Roy had our guns with us. Everybody come in, we had them laying up on the table, and people was coming in going like, what the hell? Said, man,
sure that was new for them.
Said, surely them ain't loaded. Is them real? It was like, well, hell yeah, they're real. It wouldn't be what do you want a fake gun for?
What do you want a fake gun for? But, because I just think about, I think it was Gary Allen we were talking to one time, and he was talking about when he was trying to get his record deal, and everybody was telling him what they were going to change about him.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't want to change. I want you to want me for who I am. And I was just wondering if you guys had trouble with that when y'all were getting started, if they wanted you to be somebody else, or how many times they tried to talk you out of songs that you really believed in.
Well, yeah, they always got to try to put their stamp on you. That's just the way label heads are. And the thing about it is, a lot of them are just accountants. They don't even know music. And that's what kind of sucks. And they don't want to tell you about it. So, and I'm sure, but to me, I always tell anybody that asks me, because thank God, both my nephews are doing really great. John Boy's, or John Michaels, everybody knows him. Son Walker, he just had a new single coming out. And
that's cool.
So
we'll put a link up for it.
Both of them are doing great. And I told John Boy, I was like, hell, John Boy, I said, we're going to be opening up for them before too long. So,
hey, but that wouldn't be so bad.
Thomas Red opened up, or
Red Akins.
opened up for Thomas.
So, we're been very, very blessed, man. And I love it. And I'll tell anybody, just be who you are, because you don't want to sing something, man, 20 years from now that you didn't want to sing in the first place.
Yeah.
That's great advice for sure.
And to be who you are, that's it. We always name drop Kenny Rogers because we loved him so much, and he always gave us good advice. And one of my favorite things he ever
Make
said
sure you
was,
stay with 900 numbers. Sorry, Kenny, love you, brother.
Oh, you know what? You know as well as we do that Kenny wouldn't care. Kenny was, because we would be like, why would you answer that? When we ask him stuff, he goes, yeah, because if I hide it, you'll try to dig for it. He goes, I just tell you and you lose interest.
Man. What you see is what you get, man. That's what we always were. That's the way our guys were. Used to, they would sign the people not only because they're talented, but also because they were characters. You go back and look at all you great legends: Charlotte Daniels, Waylon Jennings. I mean, Haggard, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And Bob Seger, Leonard Skinner, all them dudes, man. And so that's who we grew up listening to, and that's kind of what we wanted to be. It's like, hey, we want to be on that jukebox, baby, and that's the main thing, because you'll know whether somebody always asked me, said, man, what's it going to take, when you might have got there, and I said, well, 25 years from now, if we go over to a jukebox and our names in between Bob Seger, Merle Haggard, Keith Whitley, Willie Nelson, and Waylon, then we can look at each other and go, you know what? Damn, I believe we done something.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Love that. Love that. What a great way to look at it. That's fantastic. Talking about, your nephews and John Michael and you guys have an interesting life, Eddie, because you have had so much success and there's so much talent in the family and the whole thing. And then on the other side of the coin, you've dealt with so much difficulty in your life, challenges, and you're losing people you love. How does it all come together? I mean, does it, like, everybody in the family just, do you have a wall built around you, or it's like, man, no matter what happens, we're going to be together doing what we do? How do you do it?
Man, one thing, of course, I have a smoking hot wife I'm married to, man. I love her to death, and she's always got my back. And so I love her more than anything, and we have a fun. We're kind of like two peas in a pod, She's a female Eddie, and I'm a male Jen.
Well, that's great. I feel very close to you in that having a relationship that lasts a very long time. You have kids with somebody, and then that goes away. But then you find what, surprisingly, even after all that time, the right one. The one that actually makes you feel all those things you're supposed to feel. Because that's my second wife. I mean, we're the same way, and it's just such a wonderful feeling.
Yeah, in our business, guys, as well as I do, man, you're lucky if your career goes 5 years and you ain't blown out somewhere. Y'all's is, y'all's is as hard, if not harder, than our job. So, man, and that's why I always, man, because y'all was always real and you was always true to us, and we all got pretty close, and we could tell if something was up, something's down, or whatever, and we always felt free to talk to each other.
Yeah, I was just thinking about a couple of our favorite memories with you guys when we were doing this. The golf tournament you guys showed up at was something I always want to talk about, because we were doing a Tony and Chris golf tournament in San Diego, and we got message early in the day because everybody was in LA doing
from the ACMs.
Rehearsals for the ACM awards. And you guys, your rehearsal time got moved, and we were told you wouldn't be able to make it. And you texted us or called us and said, we're going to be there. We said we would. That night at the end of the golf tournament, we're getting ready to introduce Keith Urban and Rascal Flatts, all these folks on stage. Your bus pulls up, and you guys get off in a pair of shorts and a T-shirt and played and closed it down to the point where we had to unplug you guys. We're like, we all got to go to work tomorrow. We've got to go. And you were like, let's do one more.
I think it was the same night that you gave us your stupid moonshine with the peaches in it. It's like gasoline soaked fruit.
And I always loved that. And my other big memory that I loved of you guys was where we played a game when the Ozzy Osbourne show happened on MTV. Yeah. And everybody was talking about how much he cussed. And we played Eddie or Ozzy.
Oh, I remember that.
And we had 15-second clips of both of y'all bleeped out. And we're letting people guess who cusses more, Eddie or Ozzy.
It's a pretty close race.
Oh, I don't doubt that a bit, man. When you're raised in born and raised in a honky tonk, man, there's a lot of things you hear and a lot of things you don't hear. And the good words you don't hear a whole lot of in the bar.
True. Give us what's coming up. You said you're playing a lot of dates. So what's coming up? Any new music on the horizon? What should we be
Yeah,
looking
well,
for?
I cut my solo project, and I'm getting ready to start working on a new one, and just basically traveling, man, and doing shows, man. That's what I love to do. I love to be on stage, and that's something. Well, I was born into, so I don't know nothing else.
Yep.
And what the hell else am I going to do if I sit on my ass and I'm going to be in a bar drinking?
You'll be out in the garden.
Well, that's it. That'd
Yeah,
be
I can't do
exactly
that.
it right there.
Well, we love you, and we can't wait to see you again. And we're going to tell you every time we talk to you, cut Legend of Woolly Swamp for Halloween time. We've wanted you to cover that for years.
We'll put links in the description to the website so people can see concert dates and find out where you're going to be and get and check out all your new music. And dude, best of the family. Thank you for taking the time, taking time out of your gardening, and thanks for the tips. I intend to employ that and get some better tomatoes.
I'm telling you, man. That thanks for you guys, man. Like I said, y'all have always been brothers, man, and to us, and I still appreciate that. And I'm sure T-Roy would be saying the same damn thing. He'd be cussing y'all just as much as I was.
I was going to say, yeah, he'd be saying nice things, but flipping us off at the same time.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks, Eddie. We appreciate
Hey, man,
you,
love you guys. Thanks, man.